Good morning, ladies. Welcome to our Wednesday Hump Day Zoom. Hope you're doing well at your houses and enjoying this beautiful weather that we're having. Hopefully you can get a walk in today if you haven't already. Get out and enjoy some of the sunshine. We're going to start out with some arm crosses. So make sure your knees are soft. Shoulders are down, chest open, alternating which arm goes on top. Warming up those shoulders, opening up that chest. Great. And then we're going to go into a shrug, curl, reach up on the toes if you can, okay? So shrug's a great way to warm up the shoulders also a good way to tell. Sometimes people say to me, I can't tell if my shoulders are up and down, up or down. And if you shrug and then come down, you realize, oh, that's what down should feel like, right? So important to know that so that you can be conscious and aware of shoulders being down. Good, and then reaching up over the shoulders as you can here. Up on the toes. Two more, shrug, curl, reach up over the shoulders. Balance required on that heel raise. Activating those calves, good. Let's do one more, shrug, curl, and reach up over the shoulders. Great, all right, feet nice and wide. Now we're gonna open up those hips, stretch those inner thighs, make sure those feet are parallel. Pushing those hips back, mindful that knee not going past the foot. And let's alternate, a little dynamic stretch here, warm up side to side. You should feel a nice stretch in those inner thighs as you open up those hips. Great. Let's do some doubles or pulses. Little pulse, little pulse. Good. Again, should feel that nice inner thigh stretch as you open up those hips. Woo, feels good. Excellent. All right, let's do a march reach. So knees in front of the hips. Opposite arm and leg. Opposite arm reaches up right over that shoulder. So we are now balancing. And if it helps you, well, it helps everybody actually, but if you need help with the balance here on the marching, focusing on the spot in front of you, something that's not moving is very helpful. Good. Nice high knees if you can, reaching right over that shoulder, working on that shoulder flexibility overhead.
Begin set 3.
Great. Whew. All right, we're going to keep the arms open here, like goalpost kind of hands over the elbows. Still marching. Elbows coming together. A little squeeze of the chest muscles here. So if you can, notice my hands are staying over my elbows. Again, working on that opening up of the chest, shoulder flexibility as we march. Little squeeze as you close those arms together. Little squeeze of the chest muscles. Great.
Stop exercise.
All right, we're going to go to a booty kick. So this time, knees stay underneath the hips as the heels go toward the bum, as they say in UK. And we're going to add a little row here. So on that leg curl, feeling that
set 4.
hamstring activation, dynamic quad stretch on the row here. We are warming up that upper back, getting it ready for action. We are going to actually start with some chair squats today. I've got my chair here. You can use the bench, a chair. If that does not work for you, feel free to do a wall sit or any other kind of holding on supported squat. But functional movement, part of our daily routine, getting up and down out of a chair, into a car.
Stop exercise.
Bending down
to the next station.
I'm going to add some weights to this equation, so feel free to join me with the weights if you would like. I'm going to start with my feet about shoulder width apart. And again, weights optional here, okay? If you need more support, putting the chair next to a table.
Begin
Helpful.
set 1.
All right, we're going to start with shoulders down, chest open, pushing the hips back, just like you're sitting down, pushing through both feet, squeezing those glutes, okay? Now, what you want to think about here is hips back and knees as still as you can keep them. So you want to make sure you're not doing this with the knees, okay? Really focusing on pushing the hips back. And you can even start with a little sit and come up. That can be helpful with just getting that motion.
Stop exercise.
Hips back, and then push through both feet, squeeze those glutes, okay? You can continue with the sitting if that works best for you. Otherwise, just touching down a little bit harder. I'm going to throw in an arm curl here. So just give you that option.
Begin set 2.
So now I'm going to touch down and curl, okay? Another thing to pay attention to is not only minimizing that forward motion of the knee, but making sure the knees are straight, lined up with second and third toe. So a lot of times you see people squatting and the knees go in like this, mostly in than out, I would say. So really think about keeping those knees lined up with second and third toes and pushing through both feet, squeeze those glutes, okay? Awesome, shake it out. I'm just gonna keep adding progressions. So feel free to stay with the original squat or add the progressions as you can. Now I'm gonna add some pulses. Shoulders down.
Begin set 3.
Chest up. 1, 2, 3, push, squeeze. Squeeze the glutes, that is. And you're trying to keep that chest up, which is a flexibility issue for a lot of people, including me. I have tight lats from swimming and other things. But anyway, trying to keep the chest up if you can. Should be all about quads, hammies, glutes, core nice and tight. And then on that curl, if you're doing a curl, you've got biceps coming into the picture.
Stop exercise.
Boom, great. So that should be a little harder, adding those pulses. I'm gonna do that one more time. This time 5 pulses. All right, resetting. Shoulders down, chest is open.
Begin set 4.
There we go. 5, 4, 3, slow and control, 2, 1. Push through the legs, squeeze the glutes. Good. Now, if you're feeling this in your knees at all, go back to the original version, maybe sitting in the chair briefly and standing up. Just means your knees are probably coming forward, but you want to minimize. And push, squeeze those glutes. We got one more, maybe. Good. 3.
Stop
2,
exercise and
1.
switch to the next station.
Squeeze the glutes. Nice. All right, we are going to do a balance ab exercise next. Some of you have done this with me before, and I like it a lot. It's a figure 8 with the arms. Balance component is going to
Begin
be
set 1.
1 foot in front of the other. You want to try and be equally weighted here. Arms right in front. Now, you can do this without a weight. If you have a shoulder issue, lightweight should be fine for most of you. And you're going to do a figure 8, keeping the abs nice and tight, making sure you're staying between like the shoulders and the hips on this. So you don't want to go above the shoulders. And you should feel this in your abs as well. About working on balance. Balance and core work together.
Stop exercise.
Again, remember to find your fixed spot to stare at, because this is going to be more challenging for everybody. So finding an outlet, piece of furniture, something that's not moving to stare at here will be helpful.
Begin
All right,
set
here we go.
2.
Shoulders down. Make sure your knees are soft on this. Abs nice and tight. Now, if it's too much for you to put 1 foot exactly in front of the other, you can stagger it a little bit. And the idea is just to keep the feet close to a straight line so that you're being challenged, your balance is being challenged, okay? So don't worry if you can't get your feet right, one in front of the other, but a little stagger is okay too. Just make sure that your feet are equally weighted.
Stop exercise.
Okay, so you're not too far back on one leg, equally weighted in your in both feet, okay? And switching legs again. Now, question, have you switched directions yet on the figure 8? If you're not
Begin
sure,
set
start
3.
off with what feels normal and then go ahead and switch other direction. So that's some good brain work. Good. Great. Should feel a little bit more challenging, that awkward, sort of awkward direction. Also, working the sides here as well as the abs. I'm actually feeling this a little bit in my back in a good way, but you want to keep your abs nice and tight, ladies. Nice and tight. This should not be, it's not about a heavy weight in front of you.
Stop exercise.
It's about lightweight or no weight movement, core engaged, balance. All right, switching sides again. Equally weighted, knees are soft. Shoulders down, here we go.
Begin set 4.
Just gonna go in that awkward direction one more time. Good. Staring at that spot, making sure your knees stay nice and soft. Core stays engaged. Woo! Next up, we're gonna do a row, a bent over row, which you can do on a bench, on a sofa or bed if it's not too soft, or simply standing in a diagonal position, which I will show you.
Stop exercise.
Great
and switch
job,
to the
ladies.
next station.
Whew. Okay, so bent over row, if you're doing it standing up, my left foot's in front, I'm sort of at a diagonal here. Hand on the thigh, pulling right into that rib cage, slowly lowering.
Begin set 1.
Okay, you should be able to do a pretty heavy weight here. So if you have a heavier weight, now's the time to grab it. If you're doing it on a flat surface, back stays nice and flat, elbows in, pulling right at that rib cage, slowly lowering. Not dropping that shoulder. There's your exhale, and slowly lower. Great. Back stays nice and flat here. Working that upper back, postural muscles.
Stop exercise.
All right, so I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to stay on the same side. So most of you should be able to do 2 on one side. Since it's such a strong muscle group, your upper back. If you happen to have a heavier weight or a shoulder issue, you want to switch sides, feel free to do that. Slowly lowering against gravity, so you want to make sure you really control that lowering piece, not let gravity bring it down for you. That's where you're really working those muscles. Again, upper back at work, a little bit of shoulder. Exhale as you pull right in that rib cage, slowly lower. Nice work, ladies.
Stop
Let's
exercise.
do one more. All right, switching sides. If you're doing a standing inversion, you're going to put the opposite foot in front. All right.
Begin set 3.
All right, here we go. Other arm, shoulders are square. Pulling right in that rib cage, slowly lowering. Shoulders stay square whole time. Make sure that shoulder doesn't drop, even though the arm is lowering. Shoulder should not drop. You want to keep the upper back, the focus here. Elbow stays in, slowly lowering. Back nice and flat.
Stop exercise.
Nice. Okay, shake it out. One more set, we'll do it here, and then we're gonna head to the mat or the floor, as the case may be. All right, shoulders square, back nice and flat. Here we go, pulling right in
Begin
that rib
set
cage.
4.
Elbow in, slowly lower it. Make sure your head and neck are in a nice neutral position with the spine. Great. Exhale on that pull. Slowly lower. One more maybe.
Stop exercise
There
and
it is.
switch to the next station.
I've been with this lady so long, I know when she's gonna say stop. Okay, let's do some band work next, ladies. We're gonna work the hip and glute. If you don't have a band, don't worry, you can do this without a band. All right, so we're gonna line your sides, on our sides, I should say. Make sure you're all lined up, okay? I like to have the head down just to make sure you're not stressing the head and neck. You're gonna lift that leg up, right? And we're gonna do some small circles forward. Very small. I like to keep the foot dorsiflex, which means toes toward my chest. And that really lengthens the leg. It makes it nice and challenging. Your hips are stacked. This is a very small movement. Again, you can do this without a band. You do not need a band, ladies. You should feel this right here.
Stop
Band or no
exercise.
band, okay? Quick break. We're going to stay here and go the other direction, okay? An alternative to this exercise would be a clamshell, similar. Just lifting the leg like that, okay? Here we go, lifting that leg.
Begin set 2.
Backwards, small circle. This is not a big movement. You're reaching through the heel, again, lengthening that leg. Hips are not moving. Small circle back. Here's our target, ladies. Hip and glute, abs stay nice and tight. Woo! Awesome. Are you feeling that activation? I am. Hip should be lit up there, ladies. Glute
Stop
medius.
exercise.
Woo! All right, switching sides. It's gonna swivel around here. All right, again, making sure feet, hips, shoulders all lined up. All right. Reaching through the heels, lifting that leg up.
Begin set 3.
Small circle forward. Great. Woo! I'm already feeling this side. Hip and glute, ladies. Reaching through the heel, lengthening that leg nice and long. Thinking about that core engagement throughout. And you're breathing, mask-free breathing, ladies. How nice is that? This mask is pretty loose, so.
Stop exercise.
Woo! Take a break. You're gonna stretch it out. Lift that leg up. All right, last set here. Other direction, going backwards now. Reaching through the heel, lifting that leg up. And small circle.
Begin
Backwards.
set 4.
Woo! Hip and glute on fuego. Arms nice and tight, ladies. Good work. This is your last leg raise. Let's make this count now. This is your base. This is your support for your torso. Really important to keep those hips and glutes nice and tight, nice and strong to support the back. Core is all part of it. Excellent. Woo! Are you needing a
Stop
break?
exercise and
I need a
switch to the
break.
next station.
All right, well done, ladies. Done with the band. And we're going to go to some core work next in the form of bird dog. Bird dog is a great exercise for the core, also for the spine, backside, spinal
Begin set
stabilization.
1.
You're going to start in a tabletop position, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. You're going to extend opposite arm and leg. Now, this leg can stay on the floor. If you have any back issues, stability issues, you can keep that leg down. If you're able to lift it up just a little bit, that's what I'm looking for. That will really challenge the core and work the spine backside. Now, notice I'm in a straight line, hopefully. You ever want to be up here and go to a back arch, okay?
Stop
You want to make sure those hips are always facing the mat, okay? On the break, little child's pose. We're going to do that same thing now that you got the hang of it, 5 seconds per side if you can. Each time you come down, tabletop position,
Begin set 2.
you're going to make sure your shoulders are down and your abs are engaged. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Shoulders down, abs engaged, reach. Great. And there's always one side that's a little more challenging. Nice to identify that. And maybe work a little bit more on that side. Great. Really stretch and lengthen, ladies. Reach, stretch, and lengthen.
Stop, exercise.
Nice. Maybe one more just to be even. Nice. Back in the child's pose. Now, if you have a wrist issue and for some reason this flat hand doesn't work, you can always go to a fist on this.
Begin set 3.
Knuckles. All right, this time we're going to go in and out just on one diagonal. So this is only if you want to up the ante a little bit. If you need a little more of a challenge, feel free to stay with the original bird dog if this is too much. In and out, reach and hold. Still keeping that tabletop position. This shoulder's away from my ear. I'm stretching nice and long. My
Stop, exercise.
head and neck should be neutral with the spine, okay? Shake it out. We're going to do the other side now. Either knuckle or flat hand. Tabletop position, core is engaged, shoulders are down. Here we go. Reach, nice and long.
Begin set
Underneath
4.
the body. Extend. Again, a ton of spinal stabilization here. Backside work. Lengthening. Always great to lengthen. Core is working to stabilize as well. Reach and hold. Reach and hold. Nice. Head and neck stay nice and neutral. Breathing, don't forget to breathe. Reach and hold.
Stop, exercise, and switch to the next station.
All right, we're going to go to a combination bridge skull crusher. Now, if you want to just do one of those, feel free to do one or even 2 and 2. I'm going to do both. So, depending on your weights, depending on
Begin
your
set 1.
condition in terms of if you have any back issues, you might want to stick to just the bridge. Shoulder issues, you should be good with the triceps, skull crushers. So you're going to lower those weights and you're going to add a bridge on the way up, okay? Now, you can do skull crushers with 2 weights. If you need more stability, say you have a shoulder issue and you want to make it a little more stable, feel free to hold 1 weight.
Stop,
And this
exercise.
is how you would do that. Holding it like this. You're not going to be able to go down as far. You're going to be going right towards your forehead. So you're going to make sure you hold on nice and tight to that weight, okay? Squeezing the glutes if you're adding that bridge. But the motion is upper arm stays
Begin
fixed.
set 2.
Elbows do not move. You are just moving your lower arm. So here we go. Shoulders are down. Abs are engaged. Lowering the hands. Squeezing the glutes as you come up if you're adding that bridge. Again, this is just an option to add the bridge. Extending up. There's your exhale. Everything nice and tight. Again, that upper arm stays fixed. It is not moving, ladies. If for some reason your weights are too heavy, go to 1 weight. Remember,
Stop,
form is
exercise.
more important than reps or weight. So I want you to make sure you really feel the triceps on this. And you're not going to feel the triceps as much if the whole arm is moving. So I just want that lower arm moving here, just a hinge, okay?
Begin set 3.
All right, so for those of you who are finding this easy, I'm just going to add another option, and that's going to be a single leg version of the bridge. And that's only, remember, if you've earned the right to progress, which means your position is good, your form is good, and maybe your weights are a little light, you're thinking, oh, I can add a single leg, but your back has to be good here too, right? Hips should be nice and even. You should feel this big time in that
Stop,
hammy
exercise.
glute as well as the triceps. And even if you're, here's my hamstring rest right here, ladies, legs just straight out. If you're doing the 2-leg bridge, you can play with either going up and down or staying up. If you're able to stay up, great. Make sure everything stays nice and tight.
Begin set
Here
4.
we go, other leg. Elbows are not moving, I'm extending up. Great. Extending up. Nice. There's my exhale. All right, triceps are really starting to fatigue now. Because I'm working against gravity to push that weight up. Almost there, ladies. Hang tough. Hang tough.
Stop exercise and switch to
Nice
the next
work.
station.
Excellent. All right, let's strip down for our planks. And today I'm going to have you do some side planks if you're able. Remember, you can do a modified side plank on your knees. And if the side plank does not work, feel free to do a front plank.
Begin set
If you're
1.
side planking, you've got elbow, hips, and knees all lined up. Head and neck in that neutral position. Top leg can be straight. If you're on your knees, this is what it looks like. Abs tight, glutes tight. Arm can be up. I want everything nice and lined up. I want your abs engaged. I want you squeezing the glutes. So I'm going to do the modified version first on each side, and then I'll go to the advanced version, okay? Nice. Everything's nice and lined up. Core tight, glutes tight. Great.
Stop
Breathe.
exercise.
Awesome. All right, switching sides. Get everything nice and lined up. Now, if you're doing the front plank, remember you can be on your knees, on your feet. Elevated surface is fine. Whatever's going to challenge you today without
Begin set
irritating
2.
a back or a shoulder. Abs and glutes nice and tight, ladies. This is your time to really push it now. I want perfect form here, whatever plank you're doing. Core is engaged, glutes are engaged. Make sure your body's lined up, head and neck in that neutral position. Great. Keeping the glutes tight, keeping the core tight, whatever plank you're doing. Reaching through your heels if you're doing a front plank. And if you're doing a side plank, you're still reaching for your heels. Okay, so either plank.
Stop exercise.
All right, now I'm gonna do a little more advanced plank, which is the straight-legged. And again, we have 2 more planks, ladies, so I want you to really challenge yourselves. I'm gonna add a weight to my hips on
Begin
this,
set 3.
okay? And I'm gonna add a little hip drop. Now this is advanced, obviously. If your back is good, if you need more of a challenge, this is where you're gonna go. If it's enough to just hold that plank, that's awesome. Keep those abs tight, glutes tight. Head and neck neutral. Woo! And we're breathing. Excellent. If you're doing a front plank, you can throw in a variation like a knee drop.
Stop
Pedaling.
exercise.
You can stall back and forth. Anything that's going to challenge you today, so that by the end of this workout, ladies, I want you to feel like you are worked and ready for a break and you've done your job. Taking care of your body today.
Begin set 4.
Here we go. Here's our finale. Excellent. Head and neck nice and neutral. Glutes abs tight, breathing throughout. Final set. I wonder if I can rest this here. Whew. Almost. Nice, ladies. We are almost there. Actually, should be there. Excellent. Home stretch. Finishing strong. Well done. Woo!
Stop exercise. Your
Nice
training
work,
is now
ladies.
complete.
Fantastic. I'm going to invite you to do 1 figure 4 stretch with me because I always love to open up the hips. So I'm going to invite you to sit down, shoulders down, chest open, cross that ankle over the knee, sitting up nice and tall, opening up that hip. If you need a little more of a stretch here, you can lean forward, okay? But this is a great way to open up those hips, which is really helpful in the lower back. Holding, you can do this lying down as well. This way I've got gravity working with me, so either way is fine. Switching sides, nice and tall through the chest, crossing the other leg over, Shoulders are down. Little lean forward if you need more on the stretch, or simply holding there nice and tall. Breathing into it. Great job, ladies. And if you have some time to do some more stretching, please do. Always helpful. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you have a great day. And I hope to see you all in person soon. We get to go to 3 next week, which is kind of exciting. So take care.